water, earth, fire, air.
Greetings, viewers, and welcome back to my channel where gaming and anime are my specialty. And today I'm going to be talking to you guys about benders and ninjutsu users, or chakra users. I'm just calling them chakra users just because I like that term, chakra users. And comparing and contrasting their abilities, how they're similar and different, and seeing which one is better, and what type of bender you would want to be, or what type of chakra user you would have to be. Let's get straight into it. Let's start off with the benders. So there are obviously, technically on Wikipedia of the, I don't know, fandom of Avatar, there's 5 parts of bender. You got the earth benders, you got fire benders, you got water benders, and you got air benders. And the 5th one is supposed to be like energy or spiritual energy version, which is basically the Avatar state, and the ability that Aang used to take away the bending power that Ozai had. But I don't really count that, so 5, let's just get rid of that. What's that sound effect? Anyway, so of the benders, they obviously can manipulate the elements. Now, how they manipulate the elements is different for each bender, obviously. The fire benders, which is basically the main antagonist of the entire, Avatar universe, you can use punches and kicks. Basically, they're using like a fighting technique where they're like fighting you, but it can emit fire with their punches and kicks, as I just said. And it's not just like it can be either a quick fireball or a lasting stream, and they can use this in a semi-versatile way. You know how Izuku and Azula is a good way to analyze their battle and how they can manipulate the fire and all that stuff. Now let's move on to the earthbenders. The earthbenders, especially Ba Sing Se, earthbenders, they're kind of versatile. They can manipulate the earth around them to build shelters, and how Toph usually does whenever she's angry with the group. She just, stomps on the ground and builds 2 little layers around her. And then you got they can bring up rocks. They just sprout up large boulders and kicks. And the most earthbenders are usually fairly strong. Then you got waterbenders. Waterbenders, they're probably, out of all of them, one of the most versatile ones. Which makes sense. The way that Katara uses them is a perfect example. How she has the water whip, and she can use the water to grab people. Then last but certainly not least, the airbenders, or mainly Aang, the last airbender. Now the airbenders, they use the air around them to either use it in, stream, like blasting streams, kind of like the almighty push in Naruto, and they can also use it to, jump, like an air jump, where they use the air around them and blast them up and stuff. And the main thing that I use to talk about air for transportation, kind of like the waterbenders use, is Aang's, little air ball or whatever he calls it, where he's moving around and stuff. How else he moves around when he does that. But now let's go on to Naruto. Alright, so now let's talk about ninjutsu, or chakra users, as I would call them, for Naruto. But first of all, the actual there's actually an extra type, because there's a standard, earth, water, yada yada yada. But instead of just being 4 like Avatar, there's an extra one, lightning. Now there is lightning bending, but that's a subcategory for firebenders. But lightning style is actually its own unique style. People like Kakashi and Sasuke are the main ones to use it. So that's just something extra, nothing really too important. But let's start off with lightning, actually, in describing it. So the main one that's used is Lightning Blade and Chidori. Those are the ones that are made, which basically is just harnesses lightning in the palm of your hand, which can be used as a quick attack, and it's meant for like piercing. So it's meant to like pierce you it's actually called Lightning Blade for a reason, it's a blade. Now next, the main style for all of it is Fire style. And the main one is Fire style Fireball Jutsu. They do hand signs, and then they just breathe fire from their mouths. Usually, the main one is the fireball, which is an actual ball, and there's a fire stream, when it's like a stream of fire. But there's different I won't say categories, but there's different types as well, as you know, because different jutsu. Now, what's next? Let's start with Earth. Let's go again with Earth. Earth style, Earth style uses, of chakra users don't really have much jutsu. The main one I remember is like involving walls, like Earth style mud wall. That's all I really remember. So for wind, there's only one. Well, Naruto technically is a wind style, but all he really does is the Resen Shuriken as his wind style. But the main wind style user, who's part main, technically side character, is Tamari. She's like the main wind style user besides Naruto, of course. And she uses her wind, what's it called? It's the fan. I'm about to say wind blade. It's a fan, which has three, you can fold out, showing 3 moons, which was shown when she was fighting Tenten. Last but not least, water. Water style users, the main jutsu, there's actually water is pretty versatile out of the most. It has a good deal of different type of jutsus. But yeah, for water, the main one, probably the water dragon, because that's probably the most memorable for a lot of people. Water dragon and probably hidden mist. But yeah, that's just a brief summary. There's obviously a lot more to do with the jutsu, chakra nature related jutsu, obviously, but that's just a brief summary of it. So now let's go on to Naruto and not Naruto. Well, which one you would want to be, a bender or chakra user, and which type would you want to be? Alright, so it's comparing which one would be better to have, bending or chakra. Let's just think about that for a second. Well, see, chakra in Naruto, everyone is supposedly born with chakra, but some people, have higher levels from birth, and there's the fact of kicking Genkais, but that's for another video. But then there's see, everyone's supposed to have chakra, but some people have different levels of it, and then practicing and training in intense battles or situations would help boost it. Now, of course, not everyone's gonna be a shinobi or hunt for a shinobi. That's why not everyone becomes a shinobi and stuff. But with bending, not everyone's a bender, because there's plenty of people in Avatar who are not benders, like Sokka, Suki, Ty Lee. Those guys, they're not benders. Now, I'm not just saying they're weak or anything, but they don't have any bending abilities. So if you were in the Avatar universe, there would not be 100% guarantee you become a bender. There's a chance, but that's decided at birth. I believe. You're born a bender or you're just not a bender. But in Naruto for chakra, I'm pretty sure you're born with chakra. But no, overall, I feel like this Naruto, there's too much stuff for Naruto. There's so much, there's different hand signs and jutsu and complex. And honestly, I would take my chances in the Avatar universe. I take my chances, possibly becoming I'm not 100% being a bender, but it's better than, having to work, because I'm lazy, okay? I'm putting that out there now, I'm lazy, okay? I don't want to go out and do trading and stuff. Like, I'm like Joji. I'm sitting over here trying to eat snacks and then watch everyone else, So, like, I would be a bender. But what bender I would want to be, I always thought about this when I was first watching Avatar. Well, I would probably want to be a water bender, just because it's so versatile, and you technically got two, if you think about it, because you can ice bend and water bend. Now, technically, for ice bending, all you're really doing is just taking the water you're bending and freezing it. You can unfreeze it, like Katara used with Azula, but, I probably would be a water bender. That's just my opinion. But yeah, that's all for today. Hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, leave a like. And if you want to see more stuff, subscribe, hit that bell so you can get notifications when I upload. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.